I don't think I need to tell you guys about the peak that's happening right in front of our eyes right now. My Hero Academia is moving like Otani. So many people dropped it thinking it would never go back to its glory. But right now, oh my god, right now it's in its peak. So I'm gonna give you guys a little recap of what happened so I can talk about what I really want to talk about. This new season starts off with Robot All Might versus One For All. And oh my god, this fight could really have its own video. And you guys know All Might doesn't really have his powers anymore. So in order to fight One For All, he turned into Tony Stark. And to be fair, All Might was low-key holding his own. But that does not last for long. All Might already knew he wasn't gonna win this fight. He had no chance for real. The only plan he had was to make sure he kept getting younger. The fight starts up again, and All Might ultimately was just running away. Not because he was scared for his life, he just wanted to stall. But that tactic didn't last very long. All For One hit All Might with a mean gut shot, and you know that shit hurt. But All Might was a symbol of peace. One little hit wasn't gonna stop his grind. He gets back up and he shoves a barrel down his throat. Pause. All Might starts freezing him, and then he calls for a drone strike. You thought she was sweet because I lost my powers, huh? I think you forgot Iron Man beat Thanos, nigga. Before All For One could react, the drone strike hit him, and bro was getting absolutely tortured. But even through all that damage, he still found a way to piece up All Might. And then the most unfortunate thing happens. The drone blows up, and that sets All For One free. All For One doesn't hesitate, and he starts putting bell to ass. But right before he could finish the fight, he gets frozen in place. And only one man has that power. The freaky blood-licking goat, Stain. Now let me tell you guys how this guy found All For One's blood. As y'all seen, All For One and All Might been fighting throughout the whole city. And that means blood is all over the city. And Stain was like, let me find All For Ones. And you know the tactic he used? He went around the whole town smelling every bit of blood. Because if he licks the wrong one, then he's not gonna freeze All For One. Another person is gonna be frozen. And I don't know how this guy did this. He has no nose, bro. But somehow he did. I'm not even gonna question it no more. All Might and Stain both rush him at the same time. But before either of them could get even close to him, he drains every bit of blood from his body. And then he grabs Stain before he could get any closer to him. And I know at least one of you guys is thinking, if he drained his blood, how the hell is he alive? And the answer is simple. He used somebody else's. All For One launches Stain across the city, and then he chases after him, but Stain is already out of commission. All For One charges one more attack, and All Might is trying to rush there to save him. But All For One was not trying to give him the chance. Bro, that man is ruthless. Look what he does to him. Oh my god. He steals Stain's quirk, and then he instantly turned around and made All Might the target. He charges up one more attack to kill All Might. But then Hercules shows up and saves him. And then Hercules had one last thing to say before he died.
I missed the All Might, the big and bold All Might,
The robot took most of the damage, but All Might's armor is finished, and he's cooked. We cut back to the floating island where everybody's fighting, right? And the two guys that are recording see something coming their way. Then we see All For One carrying All Might by his ankles. My goat is actually washed, bro. Deku is in the middle of fighting Shigaraki, right? And when he's seen All Might getting dragged, his heart broke. He wants to help him, but he can't leave Shigaraki unmanned. You gotta guard the nigga, you know what I'm saying? Then All Might had one last plan he wanted to try. He grabbed All For One and held him tightly. He was gonna sacrifice himself and blow them both up. All Might started the countdown and he was ready to do it. And I'm thinking to myself, when the has this actually worked? I swear to God, somebody always tries to blow themselves up. Or not even just blow up, just sacrifice himself. And the big bad always comes back. Either way, his attempt failed. All For One just broke the arm thing. And this is where All For One decided to go on a demonic run. He put All Might in a chokehold and then he licked his blood because he got Stain's power now. Gentle Criminal tries to save All Might because he just got done stabilizing the battlefield, right? But All For One didn't want to deal with him. So you know what he did? He sent a beam right through the middle of it just to make it fall again. And Gentle Criminal had to catch it once again. The next people up to try to save All Might is none other than America. And All Might is not the only thing on their mind. They also want to avenge their GOAT, Stars and Stripes. RIP, I fucking love Stars and Stripes. She's actually insane. But it didn't matter what they were here to do. All For One ended that shit in one swing. Look at the pose bro held while they fell. All For One was ready to end things with All Might. And this thing is being recorded live. The whole world is watching this. And I'd like to put this out there. I wouldn't be mad at that being my final times, for real. Imagine just watching the fight that determines whether you live or die. The stakes are insane. I know for a fact the ratings were through the roof. I'm not gonna lie to you, I would've put a 70-leg parlay because there's no way I lose. I'm putting my whole life on UA. Deku is begging somebody to go save All Might because he can't. And then the most unexpected hero rises up. Bakugo and Deku didn't say a single word to each other. They knew exactly what they needed to do. They both rushed to each other, and Deku's doing this while he's holding Shigaraki. We get the cinematic scene where Bakugo and Deku grab hands, and Deku rushes him towards All Might. And I can't lie, this episode was so beautifully animated, bro. This shit had my eyes glued to the screen. Bakugo got to All Might on time, and he blitzed right through All For One, saving All Might. He put All Might on a roof where he's safe, and he had to go back and fight. But before he left, All Might transferred whatever armor he had left to Bakugo. All For One is heated. Now he's just saying, fuck the fight, let me go get Shigaraki's body. But Bakugo is not gonna let him do that. He enters flow state and catches up to All For One in an instant. Bakugo has never been this fast before, so he's just laughing, having fun. He tries to stop himself, but sends himself flying through a building. All For One didn't care because he didn't want to deal with him, so he just kept going. But Bakugo blew his way out the building and met him on the other side. Bakugo wastes no time and he blows All For One to smithereens. But the recoil also sends Bakugo flying. The blast wasn't enough to finish off All For One. We could have guessed that, but it was enough to get inside this head. How can I lose to this side character? How you gonna call me a side character, bum? I'm part of the main cast. How many episodes you got, nigga? The next episode, they try to show us All For One's backstory. And when they start doing that, that means that they want you to, what's the word? Resonate with the nigga. But everything they showed us was him being a menace from the moment he was born. The first thing they showed us was a whole bunch of construction workers huddled around a fire. All For One walks out, and I can't lie, the old niggas are dickheads too. They didn't want to help a kid, they just left. And as they're walking out, All For One gets a collateral. The next thing they show us is All For One and his brother laying on top of their dead mother. And what do you think baby All For One is doing? Bro, he was eating her dead body. How do you even give birth to someone this insane? It shouldn't be possible. Usually something happens that makes somebody turn evil, you know? But this nigga was evil straight from the womb. The next thing they show us is his brother trying to escape, and the guy helping him is the very first person to ever have One For All. But All For One wasn't letting that shit go. He said, either you stay with me or I kill you, nigga. So when he found out they were trying to escape, he instantly pulled up on them. But he didn't pull up on them to get his brother back. He didn't give a fuck about that. He just wanted to kill him. So as you can see, this flashback did nothing but make me hate this nigga even more. Back to the fight, All For One is getting ready to blitz through Bakugo. And I don't know what this is supposed to be, but this is what he wanted to use, this nasty ass transformation. He launches himself towards Bakugo, but Bakugo blows him up from the inside. It stops his momentum and makes him fall onto the street. Bakugo wastes no time and he loads up his final attack. And he turned into Vegeta, he started ki blast spamming. But in his case, it actually worked. Bakugo did so much damage, All For One reverted back into a baby. And if you guys don't remember, Bakugo was basically dead. The only reason he was alive now and fighting is because Edge Shot saved his life. And now all that damage is coming back to bite him in the ass. Now he can't keep himself up and he starts to fall over. And then he remembered, All Might never fell down. A real nigga never fall down. So he stood 10 toes and stopped himself from falling. And that shit had baby All For One frightened. All For One didn't want to give Bakugo a chance to kill him, so he instantly attacked him. He opened his mouth and this long ass... Wait. Pause, bro. What the f am I talking about? He launched a spear at Bakugo and it looked like it landed. But my goat Bakugo caught that shit with his teeth. And I'm not gonna lie, that's some freaky nasty shit, bro. Bakugo lands the final attack and he blows All For One up. This time, he ended him. And now it's time for the big boy fight. Deku used the water as a cover and kicked the hell out of Shigaraki. Imagine getting hit so hard, the word smash pop up. Shigaraki recovers and then he realizes All For One is dead. And he didn't really care. The only thing that was on his mind was, damn, that nigga I was supposed to killed All For One. Oh well. Oh well? What do you mean, oh well? Isn't that supposed to be your father figure? I guess he was just breeding you just to take your body. Which is, you know what, fuck him. He doesn't dwell on it any longer. He instantly rushes Deku. But Deku got Spidey sense and it kicked in right away. He reacted fast enough to cut his fingers off. But during that, all the original One For All owners were chilling. And even though the attack didn't hit Deku, Shigaraki was still able to reach in and steal Spidey sense. Deku tries attacking him right away. He tries combining Black Whip, Fujin, and Gear Shift. But even with all those perks, Shigaraki was moving different with Spidey sense. And I just realized how American I sound saying that nigga name. Don't get it twisted, I can roll my R's. Shigaraki maneuvers behind Deku and then rushes him. And then he starts charging up a move I can only call Chidori. Even without Spidey sense, Deku reacts fast enough to block it. But the force still set him skipping across the water. Shigaraki kept the pressure up and hit him with another Chidori. But this time it was even more powerful. It sent him flying across a city and it landed him in the middle of the forest. Deku's all worn out, he's drained. He's feeling what Matthew Dellavedova felt guarding Curry. One of the One For All owners appears and he starts talking to Deku about a plan. They realize they're at the base of Mount Fuji and they need to get out the area. Before they could even put the plan in motion, Shigaraki shows up and with no hesitation, he touches the floor and starts decaying it. And if the decay hits Mount Fuji, it will erupt. and Deku did the only thing he could do. He punched away the ground, getting rid of the decay. It was also strong enough to push Shigaraki away. He recovers and he tries to rush Deku again, but he ends up slowing down because his spidey sense kicked in. And this is where the fight starts heating up. Through the smoke screen, Deku starts attacking from every angle, but with spidey sense, Shigaraki was able to dodge all of them. But that was Deku's plan. He knew the weaknesses of spidey sense. While Shigaraki was preoccupied with all those other attacks, Deku was above him waiting for his time. And when his time came, he punched his arm off. And while he waits for him to regenerate, Deku goes back and hides in the smoke. He starts charging his legs up thinking Shigaraki can't see him. But boy, was that nigga wrong. One of the million powers Shigaraki has allows him to see through shit like this. He located Deku quick as hell and he hit him with some mean shit. Deku gets back on his feet and he tries rushing him again. But this time All Might's master starts talking to Deku and she tells this nigga, stop caring for this guy. I don't know what's up with these anime protagonists, but they always want to find the good in these niggas. Do you not see what this man did to the world? Bro, if you don't kill this nigga, get it over with. That's like fighting you know who in World War II and just letting him go because he might be a good person. What? Deku ignores her and continues doing it his way. During this fight, Shigaraki and Deku low-key like not bond, but like their spirits are bonded. It's weird to explain. In the area Deku's spirits are hanging out, I don't know what to call it anymore. Let's call it the trap. Inside the trap, Stars and Stripes appears. She points to Shigaraki's soul and she says there's a boy in there crying. And out in the field, Shigaraki's getting flashbacks of her. And he can't quite put his finger on why that's happening, so he just ignores it. He hits Deku with a beam and he sends him flying again. And this time it really did a number on him. Deku and his spirits come up with a plan, cause they cannot beat him. He's been cooking them this whole fight. And the plan is basically to damage Shigaraki in the inside. And the way they were gonna do this is shoot one of his powers directly into Shigaraki's soul. That little circle sphere we seen. And you guys gotta realize if he does that, that power is gone forever. Before they can come to an agreement, Shigaraki shows up. But Deku's body is damaged beyond repair, bro. He can't get up. Someone give that man life alert. He knew it couldn't end here. He had to get up. So he did the only thing he could do. Lock the fuck in. Shigaraki tried to stop him, but Deku took off his hand. And when all the smoke cleared, we got a good look at Deku. And that nigga look clean as fuck. I was never a big fan of Deku's clothes, I ain't gonna lie. Actually, the Vigilante Deku was cool. But this right here, this my type of tea. It turns out Deku wrapped his whole body in black whip. The fight is about to start up again, and Shigaraki, all he can think about is murder and destruction. What is wrong with this? How can someone become so genuinely evil? Deku starts to fight back up and covers the whole area in smoke. But y'all know that doesn't work with Shigaraki because he can just find him. But he didn't go for Deku at first. He just went straight to the earth and tried to decay it. He's an absolute maniac. Deku planned for this though. When he got thrown across the map, he planted black whips when he landed. And now he used it to pick up the decaying parts before he could spread too far. Deku went and hid back in the smoke. And this time Shigaraki used his power to look for him. He thought he found him, and when he reached and grabbed it, it was just his scarf. It was the same tactic he used against Sniper Girl. Hey, since when was Deku this battle hardened? Cause it wasn't just a scarf. In order to trick Shigaraki's power, he put blood on the scarf. And by the time he noticed it, Deku came out to smoke and tried to sneak him. And guess what? It actually worked. But he didn't just land just a regular hard punch. He launched his quirk right into Shigaraki. And boy, that was some damage. And it wasn't just damage. Holograms or projection, whatever you want to call it, of Dabi and the crazy bitch just show up. And it doesn't stop there. When Deku realizes they were there, he turned his head and he was in the festival. But it wasn't him fighting Shoto. It was Spinner? That nigga weak as hell. Get him off my screen. All jokes aside, Deku and Shigaraki's memories are getting mushed together. And when he realized he did all this damage, he said, I gotta shoot every single one of my powers into him. He's risking one for all for the fate of the world. Hey, if I could shake your hand, my guy, I would. As he's going for the next punch, they're both in a little tunnel of mixed memories. I don't know what to call it. That shit look like the Speed Force. Deku lands the punch and he launches every single one of his powers into him. And even though it looked like it worked, all but one get ejected. Now he gotta try to land the hit a third time. And this time, Shigaraki looks like a devil. I don't even know, bro, ew. Another projection shows up, but this time it's something different. It's young Shigaraki and his dad just walking. Deku locks in one more time and he's smashing his way through the fingers. Every other fight is finished and he's the last one. The whole world is watching. Aries crying, she can't watch it. Then Kota shows up and he's, man, I know your game, bro. I ain't even gonna speak on. One of the guys that didn't want Vigilante Deku coming in and living, he crying all of a sudden. When it's Deku's life on the line, it's, oh, take that business somewhere else. But now when it's your life on the line, it's, oh my God, save me, right? Man, I'd kill you. Nah, wait. Wait, I can't be saying that. Electric Bro is crying for a whole different reason. He's crying because he thinks he's a bad friend. Why does he think that? Because he has no faith Deku can win. And in my opinion, the fact that he's crying about that makes him a good person. You know what I'm saying? And to be completely honest, Shigaraki looks monstrous right now. I wouldn't think that Deku could win. Deku finally beat Shigaraki's defense again, and he landed another punch. He shoots his powers off again, and this time every single one of them except one make it through. And that's Shigaraki's grandma, Nana. The punch also took Deku somewhere he's never been before, and all of a sudden he has different clothes on. Deku's confused as hell, and I can't lie, I would have been too, but he doesn't dwell on it too much. He goes straight to the doorbell and tries to ring it. But then the most notorious anime villain ever shows up. Nobody, I mean nobody, caught more bodies than this nigga ever. I'm looking at this house, which you could only assume is Shigaraki's. And I'm thinking to myself, I swear it's always the people in gated communities with the big ass houses. They're the ones that act out the most. Why is that the case? I have no idea. Deku runs straight for the front door, but a projection of Stain shows up and jumps on him, and the face starts turning to villains he's fought before. He ignores it and just keeps moving on. And when he got to the front door, he seen something that stopped him in his tracks. It was just a picture of Nana and Shigaraki. And when she seen this, she realized he never really hated her. And then we see what actually caused all the pain. What made Shigaraki a demon? It was an abusive father. Oh! So y'all telling me he wants to destroy the whole world cause his dad smacked him? Is that reasonable to y'all? Cause that's, hell no, that don't sit right with me. You think I'm gonna forgive him just cause he got smacked around? Hey, that better not be the case, bro. I can't wait for next week's episode. If that's the case, bro, oh. You telling me this whole time this nigga could've got therapy and it might've worked out? Hey, thank y'all for watching, bro. Like, comment, and subscribe. I hope y'all enjoyed. Man, I'm about to go punch a wall.